All right, guys. I will get started for everybody. For all you guys that don't know me, my name is Ryan Caron, or I know my wife invited a lot of people. So Danielle's husband, Ryan. I've been in real estate for about a little over 5 years, but in the industry since 2014. I used to be in the Navy. I did that for a while. Did property management for a long time, and then I've been doing real estate full time. And then my wife, she just left her nursing job last year to kind of join me full time doing real estate as well. And so this is kind of like a big passion for us, just kind of explaining the pros, the cons for real estate, and especially this program. And I like to start off, so just say this program's not for everybody because it is shared appreciation. It's something that you do have to pay back. However, it could be the difference between owning and renting. So the California Dream for All, what it is, it's just a shared appreciation program that the state came out with. The first one they did was in 2003. So that's when it first came out, and it really just wants to help Californians, especially first-time homebuyers and first-generational homebuyers, become homeowners. So that's the big thing. What it is, this is going to be the third round that this is coming out. The first one was in 2003, and they did about 300 million that they had. That one was not a lottery system. So that was a first come, first serve, and the funds ran out in like 13 days. So they changed it in 2004 to a lottery system. And then they were able to help a lot more families, and they went through a lot more qualifications and stuff like that. So this one is coming out this year in February 24th. So that's why we kind of did a little bit earlier, just to go over the pros, the cons, let you guys know what the Dream for All is about, and if it is the right program for you. If it is, then we still have about a month or so to kind of get our pre-approval in, get all your documentations in, and then just weigh the pros and cons if it is the right one for you. Let me minimize this. Cool. All right, so we'll get to the next one. All right. So again, as you guys know, the real kind of the barrier to home ownership is the down payment and closing costs. In a typical home, you don't have to put 20% down. The real reason people put 20% down is you don't have PMI, which is property mortgage insurance. That usually can be a couple $100 of your purchase price. So what this does, it pays all your down payment. It can cover some of your closing costs, depending on how much you want to put down. And that helps a lot of people just kind of get in because with the houses rising, rents rising, it's very tough for a lot of first-time home buyers to get into the market. So this program is something that's going to help a lot of us get our foot into the door. All right. So what the Dream for All is, again, like we said before, it's a 20% assistance. So when they give you, if you just buy a house, they'll give you up to 20% for your down payment. It is capped at 150,000. So, which means you cannot get over 150,000 for your down payment or closing costs. You can buy a house for what you're pre-approved to. So we'll kind of go over that in a second. But if that's over that 150K cap, then you can only max out at that. So I have an example that I'll kind of go over in a second. Does everyone kind of know what closing costs is as well? Let's put a one in the chat if you guys know what closing costs are. So if you don't know what closing costs are for buyers, it can be title fees, escrow fees, lending fees, any fees that kind of come in with a transaction. So you can use this 20%. You can use it all for your down payment. You can use half for down payment, some for closing costs, and we that's something that we could kind of go through together on there. And again, there's no monthly payment on this. On this help, you just pay it back when you sell, refinance, change title, or if the loan is paid off. That is when you have to pay this back. So again, like we said, it's not free money. It's not a grant, and not like the first time. This is not first come, first serve. It is a lottery system. So I'm going to shoot the link out to everybody after this on how to start the qualifications. If you did want to go forward with it, how to start the process, and then again, we can hop on a call after if you guys want to, and just kind of make sure, see if it is the right one for you or not. All right. And we just kind of went over this, how the repayment works. So again, when you sell the property, if you refinance, transfer title, or if you pay off your loan, it's going to be for the original loan amount plus the shared appreciation. So again, there's no cash back allowed on these funds. So you must get what your purchase price is. And again, on this next one, we'll kind of go over this shared appreciation text right here. So again, for this, the standard track is for 150K that you can get up there. The reduced track is if you make less than 80% of the AMI, which is the area medium income. In San Diego, the AMI is 130K or less. So what that means, if you make more than 130K or your entire household makes more than 130K, you need to pay back the full 20% or what you take out from the loan. If you make less than that, less than the 130K for the household, you only have to pay back 75%. And we'll kind of go over a few of these different scenarios with you guys. The cool thing is, if you get a ton of appreciation in your home, you only have to pay up to 2.5% back, which is pretty cool. So on this scenario right here, again, so we're just going to say if it's an $800,000 purchase price, and you got 150K. So again, for an 800K purchase price, the normal down payment would be about 160K. Since it caps at 150, that's about 18.75 of the total purchase price. So that is the only amount that you'll have to pay back is the 150K, which is the 18.75. So you'll pay back the 150 and then whatever you get in appreciation. So in this example, we bought an 800K home. It appreciated about 200K. So again, so it's about $1 million home right now. So you have to pay back the 150K of the 200K appreciation that you got. Plus, if it's a standard, just say if you and your family made over the AMI of the 130K, you'll have to pay back the full 18.75%, which is about 37,500. If you do the 75% or less, then it's a little less than that 75% of the standard income of what you guys would owe on the reduced tract one. And again, if this was, we'll just say, for example, if this was like a 700K home where you could do that full purchase, that number right there, it would be 20% instead of the 18.75. So again, these are numbers where myself, the lender, we can kind of sit down with you guys and just make sure it's the right one. If you're taking out the right amount, how much you can take out, and kind of go over those different scenarios as well. All right, go to the next one. Okay. So again, this is who qualifies. This is a big one. So again, it's a first time home buyer, and I'll get into what California says a first-time home buyer is. So it's a first-time home buyer. You have to be a California resident. Your credit score, I'm going to go over the credit score requirements again. So I'll go over right now. So for the credit score requirements, has to be between 660 and 680. So you need a minimum credit score of 660 to 680 to qualify for this program. You also have to be a first generational requirement, which means one of your parents cannot be a homeowner. And again, it's not if they never owned a home. It has to be as long as they haven't owned a home within the last 7 years, then you could still qualify as long as you are not a homeowner yourself in the past 3 years. So there's also income limits. The income limits in San Diego is to qualify for this. It's 207,000. And again, on the next slide, I have some income limits on the rest. If you guys are in LA, Riverside, I have all of California. So DM me, text me on the side if you live in somewhere else besides LA, Riverside, San Diego, and I can send you what those income limits are as well. And then you also need an approved CalHFA lender. And again, if you guys need one of those, I work with a lot of them. I'm more than happy to send you guys one of my preferred lenders. Okay. So again, this is what is defined as a first generation homeowner. So again, No ownership occupancy in the last 3 years. So again, you could have been a homeowner, but if you sold the house over 3 years ago in California, you're technically considered a first-time homeowner. But you cannot be living with a spouse that owned it. So if they owned it, you sold your house 3 years ago, but you've been living with a spouse who's owned, they had to sell their house within 3 years, or you would not qualify as well. And again, it's for all borrowers on the loan that these qualify for. And then again, for your parents, it says for your parents, they cannot be on the mortgage in the last 7 years. And again, it just has to be one of the parents on there. Or again, if it's a foster care parent, institution, anything like that. Okay. So we just kind of went over some of these examples. So again, in California, it's 207,000. And that's your max income or housely income. LA 168, Riverside 164, and that's the max. So again, if you do make over 207K and you're in San Diego, unfortunately, you wouldn't qualify for the program. But once you do get, if you do get picked, some of the stuff you'd have to do is just have to do a home buyer education course, which is super easy, pretty quick. And again, it just kind of goes over some of the stuff that we're talking about today, just so they know that you guys are understand the program, that you have to kind of pay it back. And again, this program, it's not free because you do have to pay the money back. Nothing in life is free, especially in California. So we definitely have to pay some of that money back when you do it. And again, it's going to be all of the down payment that they give you, plus some of the appreciation that you get. The cool thing, what we said before, it is capped. So if you get a ton of appreciation, it's capped at that 2.5% is the max that you can have to give the government back. And again, it's this time, unlike the first time that they rolled this out, this is a lottery system. The first time that they rolled this out, it was first come, first serve, and I think they ran out of funds in about, I think it was like 12 days. So it was something crazy like that because everybody was rushing in trying to do it. Now it's just a lottery system. Um, so again, so some of the stuff for the 2026, here's some dates, and I'm going to email all these slides to everybody once we're done. So some of the dates again. So pre-registration starts on February 24th again. So it's about a month away. That's why we kind of did it today, just to give you guys the all this info. And then if this was the program for you, plenty of time to get pre-approved from the lender, go over numbers, and just make sure it's the right one for you. They start the random drawing though after March 16th. So even though you have till February to March to put your application in, I always say it's better to do it sooner than later. Uh, and then after you get approved, you have 90 days to find the home and close on it. So pretty much the second you got to be ready to go for this. So because the second if you get called, you got to go ready to ready to go find a home and get in there within the next 90 days. And again, that's pretty. It's a long time in San Diego. We can get you in the home. I've done as quick as 14 days. So this program, it's a little bit longer. I'd say between the 21 to 30-day close. And then again, for the property requirements, it has to be your primary residence. Typically, one unit properties. Again, if it has like a granny flat, things like that, I'm sure that they can make certain requirements for that. But typically, it's just a one unit, and it can't be a co-op, a leasehold, or resale restrictions. And again, so some of the stuff, here's some timelines for you. Again, I would say from now, if this is the right program for you, I would say from now until February 24th, start talking with a lender. Just make sure that you can kind of see if it is the right one for you, if you qualify. Then again, make sure that you're under the income limits, that you're a first generational buyer and a first time homeowner. Complete the education course. And then again, once we get that, that's when I can really sit down and kind of go through all the math with you as well, just to make sure, see what you're gonna have your monthly payment be, how the area is, because we want to look at the different areas. If you buy somewhere, we want to see what the average appreciation is year over year. Some areas in San Diego, you get 5% year over year, some's 1 to 2%. So it's all kind of a little bit different depending on that. And that's something that myself, my wife Danielle, any good realtor we can refer some to, we can help you find those good spots that you can kind of get and make sure you get that appreciation. I would definitely say this isn't a buy it and a sell it real quick to get some income. This is a long-term play. I would say if you're thinking about holding it at least 5 years or so or longer, that's when you can kind of still get some of that appreciation. If you did sell, still walk away with a little something and not have to give all your profits to the government. Um, and then I'm gonna open it up just to see if you guys have any questions right now about this. You guys can pop it in. I'm going to send all the slides out to you guys as well. So far, you guys can put it in the chat. You guys can just talk freely. Do you guys have any questions? I know I went through it kind of quick, and I know there's a lot of information in here. Do you guys have any questions that I can explain a little bit more in detail? Anything like that? Let me know. Kind of open forum right now. Nope, nothing.
Hey,
We
Ryan,
got yep.
that's good. How you doing?
Hey, doing great, brother. How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, man, thank you so much. This is great information. I appreciate you.
No, no problem, man. No, I'm Oops, sorry. No, man, Thank you guys for all joining. Again, like I said, this isn't for everybody. I always say, if you have no down payment, honestly, this is a great program for you. If you have at least 3.5% down, I would probably go the FHA route just because you can put 3.5% down. You can still qualify for an FHA loan, hold your house, and that's something we can negotiate in this market that we're in right now. I'm still negotiating closing costs to get covered by the seller. I just closed one the other day where they paid all my clients closing costs. So they only had to pay a 3.5% down payment is all they had to pay. So I would say if you can get that 3.5%, if you're looking to purchase a house and you can put 3.5% down, I usually say go that route because when you sell, you keep 100% of your appreciation. You give nothing to the man. This is great for somebody that has no savings. They need to get in there. And what this does with the 20% down, it helps with your PMI, the property mortgage insurance. Again, it depends on the house. It's usually a couple $100 what the PMI is. So that's why when you hear everyone thinks like you have to put 20% down, you do not. There are also down payment assistance programs. Just say if you don't get qualified for this, down payment assistance programs, you can get qualified for up to 1%. I've seen as low as 1% down. Again, those similar to this, you got to be in a certain credit score, income, all that stuff. But that could be another option as well. If I have any nurses, healthcare professionals on here, there's also physician loans that can kind of give you a lower monthly pay, or I'm sorry, a lower down payment as well. But again, like I said, nothing's in free. Usually for the first time homeowner, I'm sorry, for the physician loan and for the down payment assistance program, there's usually a little bit higher of an interest rate. So that is something, once you kind of sit down, you just make sure if it is the right move for you. Homeowner's not right for everybody. I think it's a great tool to build income for the future, to build income for your families. But if you're not ready to buy, it might not be the right time. But that's why Danielle and I, we love to give this information out just because there's other programs out there that can help you, that can help you purchase without having a down payment with, helping your closing costs if you have lower credit scores. And that's why the FHA is great too, because you can have a lower credit score and you can get approved for more. And those are little tips and tricks that we can kind of talk about and kind of help you with. So yeah, I'll email all these slides to everybody. And then if you guys did want, I'll put my a couple of the mortgage lenders that I trust that are approved with this program as well. And again, it's usually a simple application. So with that application, it's actually not that bad. Danielle and I, we just kind of filled it out the other day as we're looking at investment properties right now. So it took us about 15 minutes to fill out the application. The cool thing, once you have that, it's only a soft check on your credit, and then you'll literally have what you're pre-approved for if you did want to buy a house at that purchase price, what that monthly payment would be. And then you can play with different options. Hey, do I want to go? Because we're still early enough right now. You could figure, hey, would the dream for all make sense for me? Do I want to do the shared appreciation? Do I qualify just for a straight FHA? Or some people, they could go conventional. And with conventional, you don't have some of the restrictions of FHA, the first time home buyer, and stuff like that. So it's not a, everything's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. Everything's a little bit different. There's a different scenario for everybody. And that's what it's all about is just finding the right one for you. And that's what, most mortgage brokers, realtors, we should just be advisors for you to answer any questions you guys have and make sure you guys are finding the right one. Sharice, yes.
Thank you. So, do we know after the March deadline, like when they're going to announce who the winners are? Will they do it like April,
It's
May, or
gonna
December?
start after March. They haven't even said the exact funds yet. So they're predicting between 150 and 200 million in funding. Um, so I think once they get all the applicants, they normally do it pretty quickly. So normally like right after that March deadline, I would say within a week. They haven't put out that exact date. Like, hey, we stop on March. I forget the 23rd. We're doing it the 24th. They haven't said that exact date, but it's usually pretty quick. And the last time they did it, and they didn't do everybody in the same day. They did one round. Maybe a week later, they did another round. Then they did another round. So it's not like a first time. Hey, here's everybody. If you lose it, you lose it. Um, and then again, you could still have your voucher because what they do, if you do approve it, so you meet your lender, you get approved through your lender. You go, yep, you meet the income requirements, you meet the credit requirements. You're a first time homeowner, generational buyer, you're perfect. Here's your voucher. So you have your voucher. So again, if you qualified and they come back out with this program in 2027 and your income, stuff like that doesn't change, you could qualify for it again on there. But yeah, short answer, they haven't said the exact date yet. It should be end of March though.
So, what does the 90 days mean though? So you can get your voucher and hold it. I thought maybe
Yep.
I
So
heard
once
it
you
wrong.
get it, so if you didn't get picked, so you can have that voucher and then you might not. So when you get your voucher, that pretty much just means, hey, you got it and you got a home, and then you kind of get your voucher. If you didn't get picked for it, so once you get picked, that's when you have your 90 days. Some people still have their voucher last time if the funds ran out, which again, that's why they stopped doing the first come, first serve. Because back in 2023, when this first came out, we were helping people and then the funds ran out mid escrow. So the cool thing about this, once you get picked, if they said, hey, Sharice, you're picked, congratulations, you're picked, that fund's allocated to you. That funds can't go to
Mm,
another person how it happened in 2023. So that's a cool thing. But again, you do have 90 days. So if you don't get it in the 90 days, you might lose it.
okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick. So that's why I said it's not for everyone, but it can be for certain people that, hey, I am kind of looking at the beginning of the summer that I meet the income requirements. I meet the first generational requirements. I meet everything. Let me give this a hand and try to, see if I get it. And just know, and then that's where we kind of help you and sit down and just know, hey, what area you're looking at, what area appreciates the most. Because again, when you sell, you don't want to give, if you sell, if you hold it for 30 years and that's your forever home, you don't have to pay them back until literally you 30 years, you pay your loan back, then they get the down payment and the appreciation once it's kind of all paid off.
Got it. Thank you. This is very helpful.
No, no, that's what we're here for. And any other questions that I can answer for you guys? Mercy. I think you're still on mute. Let me see if I can unmute you. There we go.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Ryan.
No
The
problem.
question is, what is the debt to income ratio?
That's a good question. So they haven't for the debt to income, they haven't caved that out. So that would be more when you get your pre-approval. So for the debt to income, as long as you can kind of get approved through the lender and they say, hey, you're approved up to there, they look at your debt to income on there. So that's why it has to be through a certified Dream for All lender because they put all that stuff in. Um, they put all that in. Oops, sorry, it's just trying to get me to upgrade to my Zoom. I think we lost. Okay. All right, we don't need that slide anyway. So yeah, so that's why they want you to get approved with a a certified lender, just because they look at all your debt to income and all that. And again, the debt to income, it changes for everybody when you're doing your proof, because again, it can go up on credit score, your income, and all that stuff. It can change what your debt to income ratio can be. So I think a good lender, which if you did need one, Mercy, I can after this I can text you one, and again, you can pick their brain. Again, with these lenders too, the ones that I like to work with, they're not hard salesmen. They work like I work. They like work like Danielle works. They'll get on the phone call with them. You can pick their brain about this stuff. Hey, my income's this, my credit's this. We want to go on the Dream for All. I'm a first time. Do you think that I would be a good candidate? And what do you think I would get pre-approved up to? And they'll just say, hey, Mercy, if everything that you told me right, if your debt's this, your income's this, you should be able to get approved for X amount. And then, but they would still need to do the full pre-approval for you, run all the numbers just to make sure you do qualify for that. So once you qualify, then they'll kind of look at that. But they do look at your credit, debt to income, and they look at all that stuff. So I can double check, see if that came out for my lender, if there is an exact number, or if it does just like a normal pre-approval, if it does differ from applicant to applicant.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. No problem. All right, Mary.
Excuse me. Thanks, Ryan. I just had a quick question, and actually it's a request. Could you also, while you're sharing the slides, share with us some of the lenders that you think would be willing to work with first-time home buyers so that we really can understand if we qualify?
100%. I will do that. It's funny, I have one of his sheets if you can see it. So this is my guy, Rodrigo, right here. He's with Cross Country. He's one of my top preferred lenders. I will email you after this what I'll do for everybody. Oh, there we go. So after we get on here, after we get off of here, I will email everybody the all the slides, and then I'll also email you guys the Rodrigo's contact and a couple of my other lenders, just so you have his info as well.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions we guys got? Again, no. It doesn't have to be to this. It can be about real estate, the market. Well, you guys got me. Please feel free to ask anything. Did you have another question, Mercy, or is that still up from earlier?
I do.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, Ryan, I do have one.
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan,
Yep.
sorry. I was going to ask you, do you guys have a website like for you where I can go in and see the properties you have? Because I'm always on Google looking for properties all over and I don't usually find stuff that I like or,
Of
Do you have
course
a
we do.
website?
Yep. So I'll include that. So once we get off here, I'll include Danielle on my website.
Yeah.
I'll put Rodrigo and a couple of my other preferred lenders. And again, it will just be a link too. So I'll send you their contact info just so you can call them, text them, email them. And then I'll also put them there. I have their direct link. So if you just want to just start it, and again, it's just a soft check to start with. So that's the cool thing about it. It's not a hard check. You can just do a quick soft check and then just see if you get qualified from there. And then they can do that. So I'll definitely include all their contact info, and I'll include their site, and then I'll include Danielle on my website as well. So yeah, you can search for homes on there. We try to make our website as easy to use as like a Zillow and those sites to kind of navigate and all that. So I'll definitely send you guys all that info.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. No problem. All right. I know I got a couple hands raised. You guys just talk out.
Okay, I just wanted to know, do we have to have a realtor to help us, or are you guys going to be helping us as realtors?
Yeah, we can help you. Yeah, again, you can use anybody you want. Danielle and I, we'd love to work for you guys. We love helping people. That's what we do. And again, we always joke, with Danielle and me, you guys get 2 realtors for the price of 1. So yeah, we could definitely, again, this wasn't a sales pitch of like, hey, we want you to work with us. We'd love to help you guys out. We do this to help people. And that's why we like to do this stuff. And today, honestly, we just wanted to give this information out just because we saw the Dream for All program was coming back. So we just wanted to give it to as many people. We just honestly, we put a couple on social media, but we just, both Danielle and I, we just kind of reached out to our friends, our family, clients we talked to in the past and just said, hey, Dream for All program's coming back. If you haven't heard about it, this is what it's about. But it's a really cool program that can help some families that might need to get into a home. So again, we would love to help you. That's what we do. This is our full-time job. We help people all day. So we're more than happy to help you guys.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Anybody else that you veto?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right, I got you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. So how many people can get into the program? Like, is it like in thousands, or like
The last time I came out, I want to say it was like 12,000 families.
12,000?
12,000, and that's all in California. So
Okay.
in California, it's a big state. So again, it could be different. That was the previous year's numbers. So I don't know. They haven't gave the exact funds that came out yet. So we're hoping to have that exact funds, but it should be between 150 and about 200 million. And so I know the last time was about, right around 12,000 families. So we can kind of, but everyone, and again, they haven't came out with this yet, but like the last time it came out, it says like, California was broken up to 100%, and they'd say about 17% can get approved in San Diego, 19%, or like 19 in LA County. Riverside gets 8%. So it all depends the population, and then they break it into pieces. Good thing in San Diego, it's I think like us in LA usually had the most, then San Fran and stuff like that. So it's usually the bigger communities usually get more of the money allocated to us. So again, short answer, they haven't said yet. In the past, it was right around 12,000 ish.
Gotcha. And let's say somebody makes like more than 130,000. So how does a repayment works? Like after purchasing in 10 years on I
I
missed
got
that
you.
part.
Yep. So if you don't, so it's 207K. So that's the max. So if the household makes more than 207,000, you can't qualify. So you got to make 207K or below to qualify for it. For the payback though, that's why I always say it's a long-term play. I would say make sure that you want to be there at least 5 years. So we'll just say again, just using quick round numbers, you get a 500 or let's say I'll get my calculator out real quick. We'll just say round numbers. You get a $500,000 home times 20%. All right, so $500,000 home, 20%. You're going to get 100K from the state. They give you 100K. And we'll just say in San Diego, again, the average appreciation is about 5% year over year. So we'll say 500K times 5%. So it's about 25K year over year. You live there about, let's just say 5 years times 5. So you walk away in a normal situation without shared appreciation, you'd walk away with 125K. However, since the man's taking that money from you, if you got that full 20% and you make over the 130K, that was like that's where that slide, I'll send the slides, but that's where you see the 75K and below, or the 75% and below, or 75% above. If you make more than 130K, you got to pay back the full amount. So, which if you get 20%, you got 125K, that's your appreciation. You're going to give the man times 20%. You got to give them 125K is what you're going to pay them back, because you got to pay the 100K for the loan plus 25K on there. And guys, I got about less than a minute on my free Zoom because I'm cheap and I didn't pay for the real one. But did that answer for it, Vito? I can talk with you offline if you still want to. If that didn't kind of.
Yeah, no, that resonated. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
no worries. Any other last minute questions? You guys can also text me, email me. I'll send everybody my email right after we get right after this Zoom ends. So it's telling me I have less than a minute. But please, I'll have Danielle on the email chain with us. So I'll email you guys. Please feel free to hit reply all, text us. I'll have all the contact information on there. So if you did want to get started, email us. You do the application. We're happy to help you guys navigate this because we know it can be a lot, but that's why we like doing what we do, because we like helping